Yo guys, and welcome to today's track guide. We will be at Silverstone, and I actually took the Ferrari for once so that everyone gets up to his cost, for once at least, because I think Silverstone suits it quite well. On the other hand, I had no time and it was practically first lap, so I need to apologize that it's maybe not the most stellar of laps, but yeah, it was fast track too, so it was not too good. It was a 57.2, but I think I can live with that in the first place. So, Ferrari, quite weird car to drive in my opinion, but that is probably mostly due to me not having it driven in a really long time. But generally, we will immediately start off with the lap, heading towards turn 1. That is probably almost the trickiest corner of the track, where we want to carry as much speed as possible without going out of the track limits. Means we need to carry as high speeds as possible without actually crossing the line and getting too far out. We brake at 50 around, a little before. Fourth gear with every car, don't touch grass, and then go on the throttle as early as possible again. So maybe once again we get here, 50, one steering input, and just around. Now we get to maggots and buckets. That is probably another tricky section as well. That should be clear. Keeping it to the left of the track, sending it over here to the right, and I lost the rear a little. That could be due to the fast track, but on the other hand, it wasn't too bad because I caught it quite effortless practically, so the rear was quite easily catchable and it was basically fine. And then we have that corner, go third gear and full throttle as early as possible once again. So Silverstone just has a lot of these opening corners practically, means you need to send it and trust that the track limits won't let you down and that you don't run out of road to be driven on too soon. But generally that section is quite doable. So we go on the left, we can take that sausage. It's not really high, it's more of just a visual where the track ends basically. So we ACC, not simulation drivers, just take that. At the end of the curb, the sausage curb, we steer over that patch of grass. You don't need to take the grass though, so you can do that if you want. Then go over the grass here because just we can, and it saves a lot of time, and we can go basically straight through there easily. And then we whip the steering around in a slow movement and send it out. And that's maggots and buckets. And now we have the hardest part of the tracks done already. Now we get up to another very rounded corner basically. So it's half a circle practically, yet we want to get through as quick as possible. Nevertheless, you need to be careful because while braking there's a bump. Boom. That can unsettle the rear if you brake too much while steering on that. See, I even lifted a little. And then we just send it over the curb, go there, and full throttle out without touching the green with all 4 tires basically. So send it out, don't touch that thing with the right tires because that will invalidate it, and just send it. Now we approach the next 2 turns. They need to be taken as a combination actually. That was definitely not optimal at any point, but yeah, brake at the beginning of that curb around, down to first gear. With some cars you need to take second and do a quick upshift to second, or you need to take it first and do a quick upshift to second to get the rotation with the Aston Martin, for example. That Should be really doable. And now we approach another corner, but that is not opening up, it's closing in. We brake at the end of that AstroTurf, but just a little. So we just brake a little bit, not too much. Steer to the right, downshift to get the rotation and engine braking, so that the mechanical brakes at the rear don't cause the car to spin around. Go over the curb and send it around. That is a corner you can only learn by doing, not watching, I think, because it is all about the feeling you get. Means 4th gear, throttle, and off we go. Now that was a bit of a blunder on that lap. Speaking of, first gear is probably the better choice, so I had a little drift, but generally you once again brake at the beginning of the curb, which is always a good idea. So braking at the beginning of the curb, and we sling it around, not too far out because we want to get out here, and then we go on throttle as easily and as quickly as possible. Oh, and here we hit the throttle again. So steering for that one is around before the sausage, so it's not as hard, but just, and then throttle around. Now we approach the last 2 corners of the track, quite easily takeable. For the first one we brake around 5 to 6 patches before the marker, or better reference, somewhere there at the cutoff between red and white. That's like, here it is, and we brake down to a low gear, stir it around basically, so need to steer a little to sling it with a lot of throttle, and then we take the last corner in a V-shaped form basically. So we drag ourselves a little bit out and then full throttle around here to get the most possible grip and speed onto the final straight, which then also completes the lap. And it was a 57.2.